Good morning, Walking Man 45 here. It's kind of like a random video, sort of in response to Richter and his grail knife find, and kind of like a generalized response to some of Rasputin's videos on, what kind of knives do you like, what are you always searching for, that sort of thing. So, for instance, I've done a video on this guy. This is the H40. I had I think an Imperial when I was a kid. Somebody gave me, I believe, and it was a lot like this. It had a jig bone, as I remember, and it was, a fixed blade, probably about this size. And I lost it, of course, in the woods, always being a little boy in the woods. So when I found this, it was more expensive than the site price, but for me, it's one of my grail knives. And so I have it, and is it still a grail? I mean, I now have it. A grail is technically something that you'll never find, right? So I don't know. But, even if I didn't, I could have gotten like a regular Imperial. You can find those on eBay all day for, 30, 40, 50 bucks. But this was like what I remember as a kid, even though it's not the same brand. On another one, this GEC, what is this one, the 46? The Whaler. This is probably one of my favorite GECs because of the walk and talk. It's so solid. It's probably like I don't know, an 8, but the blade is so big you can pinch it open. I just love the way it looks. It did have another blade, and as you can see, I cut it off because that made it uncomfortable. But these are super hard to find. They're very ridiculously expensive, but no other company makes them. This isn't the same, but this is a Rough Rider Sunfish, and the walk and talk is awesome. It's not strictly an elephant toe because it's an equal end, and the blade is more of a spear point. Got a swedge up top versus, one of these GECs, which has like a sheep's foot. But historically, the elephant toes would have more of a spear point. A bolster at the top. But again, these are expensive and hard to find. So, point being, some of these things you can find, whether it's like a case. Well, I guess you can't find case elephant toes, but, at least the Rough Riders. This one is solid. It's really nice constructed. Canvas denim micarta. Transitions are great. It's beautiful. It doesn't have any of that black crap gunk in there. It's under 20 bucks. And it's a great knife. Probably like, I don't know, a 6 or so. And even the pen blade opens up. That was kind of the thing with this Whaler. The pen blade was like a 10. I couldn't even open it, and it was uncomfortable to hold when it was closed, so I nixed it. You get the Western Hunter. It's a double-bladed. I'll be doing another video on this because I'm going to finish up the jigging and dye this like Patriot Knife and Tool does. But this is just some antler I recovered. But again, this is like kind of a grail for me because I really like the design of these Western Hunters. They're slim, they're cool, and they're affordable. A lot of the GECs are unobtainium. You cannot buy them. And if you can, they're like all running close to $200, which, is kind of ridiculous at this point. Here's an Emerson custom commander. So this was made by hand by Ernie Emerson. You can't get these. You can hopefully try to win one at a show, which means you get a you can buy it. So they do a lottery. If they call your name, then you get to buy one of these, and they're like $900 table price. But again, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. But this is as good as a run-of-the-mill production knife. I mean, it's a little bigger on the titanium, which all of his locks should be like this, but he uses the absolute thinnest titanium on his production locks. I don't know why, but in any event, there's no reason to really buy this over a production. Production is just as good, and you're not going to worry about using it. And finally, Richter, he's got a great collection of a lot of different types of knives, but specifically in his last video, he talks about getting his grail. And I guess what I wanted to say is go for some of the cheaper stuff. If you can't get a GEC Barlow, for instance, and it's kind of your grail and you just love the design, try out the Emerson. These are awesome. Probably has like a 7-pull, nice wedge, carbon steel. This is like under $50. And what I wanted to also say is, like, I made this my own. The back spring pin, or the spring pin, was a little proud, so I kind of ground it down a little bit, and in doing so I ended up burning some of the bone. So I was like, screw it. So I took a buffing wheel and burned a bunch of the rest of it and gave it a little more depth and character, and it's mine. I like it, and it's cool to, like, have a grail in mind, something to shoot for, but don't be sad about not being able to find or buy a GEC or whatever. There's nothing wrong with this knife, or like a lot of cases are fine. These Emersons they're really good knives. I like this knife. I think this is as good as any GEC that it's compared to, and certainly as good as any case. This is bone, it's jig bone. It was all pretty smooth, and like I said, I spent like 10-15 minutes doing this little extra burning and jigging, which I like. If you don't like it, keep it, red, or there's a stag, there's yellow Delrin, and again, they're $50 or less, and you can buy them any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And this is an awesome, awesome knife. All right, so this video is running a little bit long. Yeah, highly recommend these. A lot of the Rough Riders are awesome. You can get some of these older vintage knives. Oh, and finally, I know everybody likes stickers. If you go to Klein Tools and go to Tradesman Club, you can sign up, and every month they have a new sticker. And it's like, I think it's free. They just send it to you. So you just sign up and they send it to you. So anyways, I got this last month, every month. So highly recommend this Emerson. Always go for your grail, but try some of these cheaper models. There's, if you like GEC and you can't get one, try some Emerson. They're made in Alabama. They're really good knives. Same with case. A lot of case quality sucks, but most of it is fine, especially like copper locks and copper heads and some of the, the trappers. They're fine. They're really good knives. All right, Walking Man 45 out.